Here is your guide abroad. This is to help you make your transition easier from your country to any other country, but mostly non-English speaking countries. Without further ado, let's dive right into this video. So to start us off, we will start with point number 1, which is your mindset. I swear to God, your mindset can either kill you, stagnate you, or it can actually help you grow. So the thing about this is the fact that we really glorify abroad. We think we just walk on land of where we just, money is here on a tree, pluck, opportunity, pluck. Not really. Yes, there are opportunities. Yes, there is money. Yes, there is very better lifestyle, that's for sure, and organizations and systems of work, but they don't come on a silver platter. You will hustle. You need to have a mindset that you can do any job. Yeah. And of course you have to have your own principles, but the mindset I'm talking about is not an ego. God, I cleaned dishes. My first job, niliosha vyombo. I cleaned dishes. Nikapanguza restaurants, cleaned the toilets, I remember. But it did actually pay me, and it was okay. Because if you begin to pick and choose and say, I will not clean, I will not waitress, I will not do this, I will not do that, and you don't have a very good reason behind it, like something about your core values or something, then you won't make it, because you start from somewhere. I remember now I moved from cleaning to a waiter, and then I was like, this cannot match with the amount of work, because this was in summer and it didn't match with the amount of work that I needed to do in school and also do this, because also there are certain amount of days you need to work and hours need to work minimum. And with time I started teaching. I started teaching English. It started on a slow pace and it really picked up. So mindset. Abroad is just not a bed of roses. You hustle. You either make it or make it, unless of course you have a place to, you have a soft landing. Otherwise, you either make it or make it, because it's not like home where you will be like, I don't have food. You go to your uncle, or you would go to someone, who knows you? No, nobody knows you. So you either make it or make. If you're going to a country that does not speak English, my advice, I know you will learn it there, but my advice, learn the language. Even if it's a simple phrase just to ask for water, to ask for help. Oh my God, learn the language. And if the language is widely spoken and it's offered in your countries, please enroll in those classes. It will help you so much. It will ease you this thing out. Why am I saying this? Quick story. So we land in Vnukovo, the airport, and we take almost 1 hour at the passport control. I don't know why they held us up for a long time. And then we were given back our passports. There's no issue per se. And then we exit. Here was the trouble. We took 4 hours. 4 hours just to understand that the person who was sent by the school to us to pick us up was saying that in a train, we would take a train because we had a lot of luggage. If we decided to take a flight, that would have been very expensive for the luggage, because the agency that we came with negotiated with the flight and we carried more kilograms. So taking a flight here would have been very, very expensive. So 4 hours just to understand that the upper bunk on the train is cheaper than the lower bunk. 4 hours. And in these 4 hours, it was very frustrating. We're out here with the translator. We don't understand what she's saying. Worst part is this was an old lady, so typing on our phones was even stressful for her. Oh my God. 4 hours. And that's how the last train left Moscow, and that's how the last bus left. And we ended up sleeping in train station. Learn the language. Point number 3, understand the culture of the place you're going. please understand. To avoid offending people, to avoid getting on the wrong side of the law, especially this one, because there was a case of a girl who danced or twerked in front of a monument, and that monument was a monument it was a historic monument of war for Russia, and Russia values its history. It really does. That's how the girl went to jail, just like that. Another one was it cuts across not just us, also even the Russians. There was a Russian guy, I think, from the SSR, this union, the way Russia used to be before it was divided. This guy made a very funny comment, took a video, made a funny comment, and the comment was very kind of, they say, оскорбление. It was not nice, and there was a historic monument. That is how the video was struck, and the guy was arrested, and he was released, of course, with a fine, because he's a citizen, but he had to write a public apology. He had to make a video to apologize that he would never do that again. Culture. And then despite the culture of the country, you're going to meet with people of different cultures. That does not mean that you drop your culture and now just pick people's cultures. No. You learn how to adapt and co-live and coexist with other different cultures, and it teaches you so much. Your cuisine grows, it increases. Now I taste, I think I make a bit of Nigerian food, some Russian food. I enjoy these cuisines. I've tried the Chinese cuisine, with your friends, different friends, you try different things. So culture. Make sure you understand people's culture, for you can coexist with people and the country's culture. That is very, very important. Number 4, something very important. In fact, maybe it should be number 1, documentation. Know the laws around your documentation. Please do. And if they change, be up to date with it. I'll give you an example of here. So in Russia, basically, you have your passport, and when you enter the country, you're given an immigration card. This card, by no means whatsoever are you supposed to misplace it, because if you misplace this card, it's like you entered the country illegally, because this is the only thing that shows you passed through the official channels to get here. So you have your passport, you have an immigration card that you're given at the airport. It's actually not, it's called an immigration card, but it's just a paper. Then we have registration. So when you arrive at your place of study, wherever, if it's your hostels, you have to register you. So this helps to account for your presence anytime, anywhere. The systems know you live here, they study here. So please know your documentation. Know when can I renew my visa. Like for Russia, 45 days minimum. Know what to do when your registration ends. And now we have a new law in Russia where we had to go and do our fingerprints and get a green card. It's not the, maybe should say US green card. So our fingerprints are in the system, and there's a medical checkup you do, and you submit, and you get this, your fingerprints are taken, and you get this card. Now it's a must to do any procedure with this card that you have to renew every year. I didn't renew mine. Not because it was my fault, but because I asked the school and it was not. So I ended up going to court. Mine was a very mini thing. You just get your fine and you go. But in some cases, you might be deported. I just got a good judge. Honestly, that experience was very stressful. Very stressful. Naturally, I'm a person I don't like breaking laws. I don't like finding myself in the other side of the law. I'm so afraid of policemen. It was very scary. I was sweating. So I entered the judge's chambers. You enter and she says, I'm like, my name is Marina Yarninja. Why did you break the law? Then I explained the circumstances under it. And she was like, do you accept the words that you've written here, because you write a statement on this paper. Do you accept that you have done, like you have broken the law? Yes. What do you want from this court? I beg. I need you to forgive me. Please forgive me. Please do not deport me. And that's how I paid my fine, and that's it. Remember that this fine goes also, it somehow reflects. So you cannot get, I think you get, the policeman was very funny. The guy who took us there was very funny and very chatty. He said in Russia, you only have 2 protocols. When you've already been given a fine twice and you're a foreigner, the third one is just, you're deported. Lucky are you if you're given a visa that cuts out the extension of your stay, great. But for Russia, it's yearly, so you have to do it yearly and at the right time. The last point before we move into things that don't cut across through everybody is finances. You need to know how much money approximately, they're there on the internet. If you're able to find someone who's in the country already, it would be very nice because they can explain to you approximately how much money you need. Another thing is make friends with the people who are around you the first year. For anyone who's learning language, personally, I would advise to stay in the hostel because staying in the hostel made me interact with people. I was in an environment that I had to speak the language. I had to speak my 1, 2, 3 Ruski of borrowing water, but it really, really helps you. And it also saves you a lot because staying in an apartment is quite costly. So as you adapt, at least you can plan yourself out. And also making friends with those above you is very nice because they show you where to buy things, so that you don't waste your money. The lucky thing about us is the Kenyan community has this tradition here. It has this tradition where the ones before you, the class above you, is in charge of you guys. When you come, they will show you the strands just to help you adapt, and then now you will grow on your own. So for us, the ones who were in first year, while we were in preparatory faculty, they took us around. They showed us where to get our winter attires at a very good quality and affordable.
У него look couture, без этих couture prices. Его костюмы, смотря какой fabric, смотря откуда приходит fabric, смотря сколько details, самый дорогой 380. Так оно очень-очень affordable.
They showed us where to shop. They told us go to the market to get, let's say, chicken or chicken meat in short. And they really, really showed us, you want to travel, pay for a basket. It's cheaper. It's unlimited. You can use it the way you want. So it teaches you to save up some coins. But that being said, you need to save up. You need to have a cushion. Abroad is whereby, I'm not saying this to scare you. Abroad is whereby anything can happen. Anything can happen. You can be sick, or you might need to do something very urgently. Have savings. Even those who are having scholarship. The thing is, with my friends who had scholarships, most times, the scholarship money was not arriving on time. So you would go 2-3 months without your scholarship money. What would you do? You need to pay your rent, you need to buy food, you need to go to classes, because you can't miss classes. In my university, you can't miss classes. You miss classes, you pay. So that's more money. So you really need to save. Have a cushion. Even if your parents are sending you money, have a cushion that in case something happens before, because you never know. You might have an emergency and the person who is supporting you also maybe has their own emergency and there is no funds. Have an emergency fund. I would insist on this. Have an emergency fund. It has really saved me a lot of times. It has really helped me when I need to do a certain procedure quickly. So please have a savings.